This is the old turkey master making another video. I'm going to tell you a little bit about me. I was born and raised here in the Great Smoky Mountains, North Carolina. Lived here all my life. And when I was a boy, we didn't have no computers or video games or nothing like that. Our entertainment was fishing and hunting. You didn't miss the opening day of kite season or the opening day of deer season. And back then we didn't have very many turkeys. Turkeys' population's about gone. We always had bears and wild hogs, got plenty of them. But I was 16 years old before I seen my first turkey in the woods. And the North Carolina Wildlife and the Turkey Federation, they done a restocking program and got the turkeys built back up here in the mountains. And I'll tell you, I've made about every mistake you can make turkey hunt. So I'm hoping that the young people, if they watch this video, they might learn from my mistakes and might help them out when they start up. I was working in a mill, just physical labor work down there at the old carpet mill, and there's a fellow worked there named Julius Birch. And he used to be a guide. When we used to have refuges, and you'd check in, check out, and he was a guide upstanding Indian at the refuge. So I started talking to Julius about turkey hunting. He said, "Son, pick me up at 4 o'clock in the morning and said, I'll take you turkey hunting." Well, I went by and got him, and we rode down here in the Kye Valley, way up on the mountain. Julius said, "Pull over." And I pulled over there, and there's 2 leads went down through there. And the lead in the mountains is what a little ridge, what we call a ridge is a lead. And Julius said, "I'm gonna go down this ridge and you go down that and over there." Well, he went down through there hooting like an owl. Ho 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 ho! And I'd never heard anybody do that before. And I'd bought me a little Lynch jet call. It's just a little bitty slate call with a peg. And I'd been practicing on it. And I walked down, had no single shot shotgun. And of course it's full choke back in, everybody wants a full choke gun. And I walked down there and sat down on the ridge, and come daylight, and got up pretty good daylight. And here in the mountains, when the sun comes up, the temperature always falls for a little bit when the sun, I don't know where the air turns over or what, but I got cold. And I gathered me a little bit of wood, built me a little fire, warmed my hands. We get some pretty cold mornings here in the spring in the mountains. And I'd sat there way up in the daylight, and I hadn't heard nothing. Well, I said, well, I guess I'll go back to the truck. And before I did, I said, well, I'll hit this little call, and I really didn't know how to use it that well. But I made what I thought was a yelp on that call, and a turkey gobble. I waited a minute, called again, he gobbled closer, he's coming. And I got so excited, I mean, had the shakes. I had turkey fever. I didn't know what to do next. So I couldn't see real good where it was at. I was kind of below the top of that ridge on the side of it. And every time I'd call, turkey gobble. Well, he was coming to me. And then he turned. And he started going over the other ridge over there, and he went around, and he finally quit calling, and I'm like, man, I must have made the wrong call, scared that bird off. So I eased on up top of the ridge and looked down in the holler, and there's a daggone foxhound down there with the little old spring branch that run through there. I bet that turkey come through there and seen that fox hound, and that spooked him off. which I was shaking so bad I doubt if I could have hit the daggone thing if I'd have seen it. But now that's what got me turkey hunting. I thought that was the wildest sound I'd ever hear, that gobbler real close to you in the gobbling. And when Julius come back out, he said he jumped one down there on the creek, but needless to say, we didn't get no turkey. But that's how I got started in turkey hunting. And let's see, I was trying to think of the first one I killed. I went hunting one morning and there's a skip of snow on the ground. And like I say, sometimes in the spring here in the mountains it's cold. I was going up a face of a ridge there, and the turkeys hadn't flew off the ridge, off the roost. There's two hens in a tree. I walked right under them, didn't see them. They flew out, and when they flew off, they cackled, old hen cackled. Well, I eased up to the top of that ridge, and I could hear turkeys. Well, that was the south-facing slope of the ridge, and there wasn't any snow on the south side. And I looked down, and the whole side of that ridge was covered in turkeys, and they was working their way up to the top of that ridge, just right toward me. And I had an old Mossberg pump shotgun then, and I seen a little beard hanging down in the back, one toward the back, and I dropped down shot, and I killed it was a Jake. It might have been a little better than a Jake, but it didn't have about a 4-inch beard, and the little spur wasn't big as nothing. But I thought I'd had the biggest turkey in the world. That tickled me to death. And I didn't really call that turkey then. I guess that hen, when she flew off the cackles, wanted to call it. But I'm going to record some of my better hunts, and maybe that'll help some young man or young woman if they're trying to get into turkey hunting. My best advice that I can give anybody starting out in turkey hunting is go to the woods. Stay in the woods. The more you go, the more you learn. Don't be afraid to use your call. I've scared a lot of them off. And a lot of times if they've got a hen with them, you're not going to call that turkey hen. Sometimes you just got to outsmart it. But I sat up one morning in a big flat, and a lot of times you'll call a turkey on up in the evening. It don't have to be in the morning off the roost. I've killed as many after 1 o'clock in the day as I have in the morning. And I was in a big table we called a bench here in the mountain, big flat bench on top of the mountain. And it's up about 1 or 2 o'clock in the evening, and I hit my call turkey gobble off in the holler. Well, he was coming in, so I backed up. There's a little old cedar tree there, and I got right up inside that cedar tree and sat down. Well, they come on up a hill, and it was 2 hens, a good gobbler, and a Jake. And they come up just out of shotgun range, and I watched them feeding out there. And I made a few little light calls, and the gobbler gobbled, but he wouldn't leave that hen. And then the Jake finally come, and he paraded back and forth in front of me out there, just like a little soldier. And which I don't shoot Jakes. After I got to killing a few, you know, if you let the Jake go, next year he'll have like a 6-8 inch beard. And these little spurs, they just round up, they ain't no trophy. So we only shoot gobbling turkeys. And I finally said, well, I'll purr a little bit. And I had that same little Lynch slate call, and I purred. It purred real good. I purred on it, and that gobbler turned and started to me. And I thought, well, I got him. Well, he took about 3 steps. And that old hen, she made that assembly call. She got a real coarse caw, 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 caw like that. And that gobbler spun around, went right back to her, just slick as a button, just like he was instructed to do. Well, needless to say, I never got them. They fed off in the other direction. But if you're gonna kill turkeys, you gotta get in the woods and get after them. I try to hunt every day during the season, and that's my advice, best advice to you. That is all. Smoky Mountain Turkey Master out.